replaced some register vent covers in our house about a year ago. I replaced them with these cheap plastic ones to save on money. As you can see, they didn't last very long, so I decided I would try to make one myself out of wood. The first thing I had to do was get the dimensions of the old vent cover. I started with the outside dimensions and cut a piece of 3/4 inch birch plywood to match. I made sure it was perfectly square. Then I figured out how thin I wanted the top of the cover. I really didn't measure this, I just kind of set it where I thought it would be thin enough not to stick up off the floor too much, but thick enough to withstand some weight. Then I set up a stop block to aid in the cutting of the rabbet. The rabbet I cut was 3/4 of an inch in from the outside edge, so I set the stop block for that and then made multiple passes to hog away the material as much as I could. The width of the rabbet will vary depending on the size of your vent cover. While I had it set up, I also cut the rabbet on the other side. Next, I removed my crosscut sled and lowered my blade under the first rabbet cut I made. Then I slowly lowered the blade back up so that it just touched the bottom I had cut away. Then I set my fence to cut that same 3/4 of an inch in from the edge that I had done on the previous two sides. I then ran the piece over the blade alternating sides, basically killing two birds with one fence setting. I then moved the fence in small increments to methodically cut out the rabbets on each of the longer sides. After sawing away most of the material, I grabbed a chisel and removed what was left the best I could. Then I ran my sander over it to smooth it out even more. After all the sanding, I marked a center line on the face of the cover. Then I marked lines on both sides of that line to create a section in the middle that would help provide some rigidity to the whole thing. I then marked a line parallel to each one of those, a 1/2 inch away. I then marked 2 lines down the length of the cover, a few fractions of an inch offset from the outer edge of the bottom. Before cutting out the slits, I drilled a small hole in each one so that I could fit my scroll saw blade through. Then I took it over to the scroll saw and cut out each slit, being careful not to overcut the corners. After cutting out all the slits, I ran my random orbital sander over the face to clean off the pencil marks and get it ready for stain. I also ran my pocket plane over the edges of the face to round them over a bit. I sanded the same edges as well as the sides of the slits. I took a file to the smaller ends, rounding over each one. After all the sanding, planing, and filing, I was finally ready to apply some stain. I had recently gotten a few cans of foam stain that I had purchased at an incredibly low price. This was the first time I had ever used it, and as of right now, I'm not too sure about it. The color came out really nice, but the application was a little more involved than just brushing on some regular stain. It was, however, kind of nice when it came time to stain the inside of the slits. I just applied it and wiped it off while the rest of the stain settled and dripped down through. After the stain had dried, I applied 2 coats of a semi-gloss spray lacquer and let it set for the recommended handling time. I took it in the house and had my wife try it out. It's very sturdy and even held me. It seems to do the trick and even costs less than the cheap plastic ones we had bought previously. Plus, it was fun to make. I even plan to replace all of the plastic ones that are scattered throughout our house that aren't broken yet. All in all, this was a very fun build and only took me about an hour and a half over 2 days to finish it. A quick, cheap, and fun project. You can't go wrong. We hope this project has inspired you to go out and create something of your very own. If you do, please take a moment and share your creation with us. You can do this by following us on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. We can't wait to see what you've created. Also, if you like what we are doing and want to see more, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Now, go create something.